Mr Fennon. I'm retired. I retired in 2018. I was chief executive of hydraulics and pneumatics company. I mean, the reality is it's not cheap. You know, there's no way that anyone could say, well, you know, it's cheap, because I'm sure you could get a garden for a lot less. But that's not the issue. The issue is value, and whether you value that whole process. And if you value the process, then it's value for money. We wanted a paved area, which we wanted, and that would be what we would look at as a seating area. We wanted it in a position where we had the wall behind it as well, with some nice lighting. So on an evening, we could sit out, and it was close enough to the kitchen that again we could eat al fresco, as they say. We wanted an area that we could put the barbecue in, and the sort of kitcheny area, and again with a bit of coverage, because normally when we barbecue it rains. That's normal to the UK, I guess. So we wanted that area to be a separated area, and then we just wanted a large patio area where we could, put the sunbeds. When our family got together, we had a big area where we could just come and sit and laze about, listen to music, play about in the pool, all those sort of things. So those were the three components, and the demarcation was really set by the house itself. The house really drove ultimately the design of the garden, because those were the important things. So we could, if we wanted to watch TV in the garden, we can turn the TV round, pull it out, and we can sit in the garden and watch the sport on a Sunday afternoon, or watch the motor racing or whatever. And that was the sort of thing behind it. So the demarcation works brilliantly. We're really happy with the segmentation, how it's turned out. I don't think there's any other way it would have worked, really, for us. Maybe for other people they make it different, but for us it's perfect. My background originally was architecture. I was an architect a long time ago, in the 80s really. So I was quite clear what I was trying to achieve in terms of the garden. I also have a bit of OCD, which is quite difficult, because it means that when I look at things, there has to be a synergy about things. Otherwise, I find it really difficult. And it was really good to meet people that sort of understood those issues, and then were able to say, we get it, we know, we see how you think, and we're able to design to match that. That's quite difficult to find people like that, to be honest, and particularly people who are difficult, and I'm quite difficult. And my wife would say that if she was here, that she would say, well, you know what you want, and etc., etc. And the guys were really good at understanding that, and then taking those ideas and coming up with a design. And I think that's a testimony to the guys, because I think sometimes I can be quite difficult. It was a very, very short process, and it was quite clear that we were going to be able to achieve what we wanted very quickly and easily, and in a time scale that we needed. Because that was the other issue. The other issue is, as always, we were looking to get the project finished, because it was the last piece of the jigsaw in terms of our completion of our real extension and change of the house itself. So overall, there was only one company really that we could use. We showed them what we'd done in terms of extension and how we wanted those spaces to interrelate, and just to create one continual space when the back of the house was open. And they took it away, and very, very quickly they came up with a design that was just right. I think we had one major design which just fitted. My wife, Maureen, she thought it was brilliant, because she could actually visualize what it was going to look like. For me, the plan was fine. I mean, I was, out for plans most of the time, so it was like, for me, it was something extra, which was quite nice to see. But it really helped Maureen, who really finds it difficult to visualize anything, and that included the extension when we built it. She never visualized what it looked like until it was finally built. She struggled to understand, where's the book space going to go? And it was the same with the garden. Well, so where will the barbecue be sat then? Where will this go? Where will that go? And that 3D really did help her just to get a good visualization, and made her feel a lot more comfortable in terms of the process. I think she would have been quite nervous, about it if she hadn't been able to really understand and be able to visualize it. So yeah, I think it works quite well. We are not gardeners. That's the other problem, right? We're not gardeners. We don't want to be gardeners. What we want to do is we want to enjoy the garden. And therefore, when we looked at it, it was like, well, we want plants that are easy. We want things we don't have to tend to, really. You know, they could grow a little bit, but we don't want to grow too far. So I think the services were great. I mean, to be honest with you, the whole process in terms of design phase and planning phase was really good. I mean, the survey was excellent. It was really good. We spent a lot of time in terms of looking at it, you know, which obviously helps longer term in terms of the process of build, but particularly on the front of the house with the wall, and it's a curved wall, so it's quite difficult in terms of how it was going to be built, and also the ironwork that was going to go in it. So I was really impressed with that bit as well, in terms of that amount of detail that went into the process after design, just as before we started the build process. So I think the whole thing was just very good. You know, the house that we wanted and we were trying to achieve was a real contemporary, open plan, open vista, all of the house to open and to use the back garden properly. We could never do that, really, because it was nice, it was lovely, and it sort of worked as a garden. Unfortunately, it didn't work with the new design of the house itself. And there was a lot of work involved in keeping it that way, because again, there was a lot of grass, there was a lot of planting, there was a lot of trees, there was big hedges, and it was tiring, and we didn't want that. We wanted something that was going to allow us time to sit in the garden, enjoy the garden, but not have to work in the garden, you know, every day. And we wanted something we could look after quite easily. I'd lost the change, really.